Alright, so let's talk about customizing handrails a little bit more. So if we were to go in and we wanted to edit, say, this rectangle 2 inch by 2 inch, and we wanted to give it a different profile. Of course, we have these, profiles that are already loaded. Square handrail, elliptical handrail, 2 inch by 2 inch. I think I added that 1 inch by 1 inch. I may have added that one too. So how do you add things to this? So let's look at that. So I'm going to cancel this, and you'll see if you go to your families and you scroll down, and this is the project browser, you scroll down to profiles, and let's just expand that. You'll see that you have a bunch of profiles, and some of these I've added. I'm just going to delete these because we'll add them here in a little bit. And if you want, I'll delete this one too. This is what you should see if you go under rectangle handrail. So if you want something different, you could just duplicate it and call out whatever you want it to call out. So 1 by, say, 2 inch. And then you have to, that's just the description, right? So the name never changes anything. So now we double click on that, and then we can see that we can change the height. So it's 1 inch by 2 inch, say. So we say OK. And then we take that. Now we could do that with any of these, right? So if it's a circular handrail and we want something different than this, we can change and add a new one and go in and change its dimension. So as long as it's one of these already, prescribed geometries, we're okay. And then we would go in, we'd edit the type, we'd go click on the 3 dots. We'd probably want to duplicate because otherwise we're going to change everything. I'm not going to do that, I'm just demonstrating. Now change that. And suddenly you see I have a 1 by 2 inch. Perfect. So that would be, if that's what I wanted, that's what I would get. So there you go. That's how you change the profiles if they're loaded profiles with geometry you like. What if they aren't? So let's go ahead and create a profile for, say, that nosing, and let's create a profile for a new handrail. So I'm going to go into New, to Family, and I'm going to go to English Imperial, and I'm going to scroll down here till I find Profile. And I'm going to open up Profile. Alright, so we have that. We've already hit some of this before in our custom curtain wall system, but we're just going to do it again. Because I think it's important that you understand that this is the procedure you'd have for kind of all of these. So you have a couple reference planes, and realize it's always going to load it according to where these reference planes are. So the height will be defined by this one. The left-right relationship will be defined by that one. So anything in plan. So I'm going to create. When you do a profile, it has to be a closed profile. So I'm just going to start with a rectangle that's roughly the size that I want. And where in space doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to place it there. Probably move it so it's closer to the center. I am going to make sure it's centered, so I'm going to use the dimension tool, grab that outside, then grab the reference plane, then grab this other side, and I'm going to move that up, that dimension. If you it's like me and you can't see the dimensions, it drives you a little crazy. You can go over to the scale, and you can change the scale to a larger scale so that then the type is a little bit smaller, so that's a little closer to something that makes sense to me. So now we're going to just hit this equals sign. We've done this before. It should just move everything so it's all equal. And then we're going to throw one more dimension on it because we want to have control over this. And we don't always want it 3 1/4. We're going to change that dimension to be a parameter where we're going to put in width. And we're going to be able to control that through the family types. And we're going to call this out at 2.5 inches. So. Okay. And then we could do the same with height. And again, we'll go through the same procedure. Do one more dimensioning just to the actual geometry. And we'll call that out as height. Okay, and now we have complete control. It's going to be height of, say, 1.5 inches. Alright, so we can see that it's working. Everything seems to be moving the way we want it. But this, again, isn't that customized. We want it customized. So what we're going to do, you can do anything you want. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just give it a little bit of a profile. Oh, I'm grabbing the dimension string, I think. Oh, okay. It wants to be aligned to that. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to grab a new line. Because it's already been dimensioned, it doesn't want to lose this horizontal piece. So I have to keep these two lines. I have to keep these two lines. I can do anything in between. So what I wanted to do was just get a little bit of a fillet, or kind of a chamfer, a very shallow chamfer. And then I will go ahead and use the fillet arc to give it a radius of, say, 1/2 inch. And again, since I've left just a little bit of that line, I shouldn't run into any issues. Alright, so I still have my dimensioning. Now I'm going to find that I don't want to get this any smaller than 2.5 or it'll break the geometry, but I could go up to just, say, 3 inches probably, and it's okay. Alright, that's cool. That looks like a good profile, so let's save that. And we're in my my families, so I've made my own little families in IARC 310. I'll save that as my handrail. Say yes. And then I'm going to load that into the project. Okay. And then let's see what it looks like. So I grab this guy. I'm going to edit that type. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to call this, duplicate that to CS handrail. Just describer, and then I'm going to change this profile to CS handrail. Say OK. Apply. And we can see that, oh, well, if I wanted the guardrail to be that way, then there you go. Which isn't too bad. Probably would wanted to maybe flip that, but that looks good. So that's how you would do that. Now let's do that nosing real quick. So I'm going to keep a lot of these same things, I think. So let's see, if I wanted to do this nosing, what would I do? I'm just going to start a new one. It's probably the better course of action. So I'm going to go in here, English Imperial, go down to Profile, start with something new. I think this will take a little bit of playing. I think what we want to do is when we create this geometry, we're going to start like the nose is going, that's the top of the tread. This is the outside of the, or the inside of the nosing. This is the outside of the nosing. Let's assume that for now. And then we'll see how it goes from there. So I got a couple of things that I'm working with. I'm probably going to be working with an inch. And let's just imagine that right here, right at the edge. So I might have this one lock in to that, but I'm not going to lock this one in. and I'm just dreaming up some things. So I'm just gonna have a small relief. Say that the nose, gets kind of sandblasted. Maybe it's some kind of marble or something, and then it gets a kind of bull nose. Let's say a bull nose. So maybe from that point, that's probably not, maybe this, from that point to there, to there. Oh, that's weird, it didn't really create that. Let's try it again. Okay, and then something like along those lines. So then we'll just get rid of this stuff. Oh, not that one. That one we need. Because remember, the profile has to be a closed system. We may want this to, there we go. We want it to come in tangential here and tangential up there. So this is, looks like a pretty interesting profile. So we're going to go ahead and we'll save that. And we'll call that the CS nosing. Yes. And then we're going to load that into project. So we have that in here. And so that would go into, let's make sure we grab our tread. Edit type. Go into the tread. Let's see if we can use the profile. So it's nosing. Oh, it did not do it. Oh, it was going so well. Alright, so to fix that, let's just go back into this, and what we need to do is we just need to mirror it. Turn off the copy and mirror it and have it go in that direction. And I think what I'm going to do is just exaggerate this a little bit more. And then I'll load that into my project, and you'll see that that all shows up pretty nicely. I might then I don't know, I'm probably getting a little bit too carried away as far as designing this at the moment. So the point being that you guys just kind of learning to control some of these things will make you kind of a better designer, or at least allow you to, flex your muscles a little bit more as a designer. So, all right, that's it.